All right, guys. Kind of had a little bit of time here today. It's kind of rainy and stormy outside, and I thought I would sit down here and shoot a stag video, a little bit of an updated stag video. I've got a few new pieces, and I thought I would have this ready to put out on Memorial Day. And with that being said, I think it's good to remember all the ones that didn't come home, the ultimate sacrifice that was made. Remember, this isn't Veterans Day, this is Memorial Day, so this is a day we set aside to remember those who didn't come back. So to the families of anyone out there who has a military serviceman or woman that didn't make it home, thank you for their service and God bless you. So anyway, I just thought I would show some stag pieces because everybody loves the stag knife, and I've kind of got these laid out here from smallest to largest, and I'm just going to run through these kind of quick. There's no sense in spending 30 or 45 minutes on these, but I'm just going to show you this stag and show you the different patterns I have. A few of these are not case knives, but most of them are. So anyway, here we go. This is a little peanut knife that I found at an antique mall, and just got some really nice stag. I really like the backside here. Really not a fan of a peanut knife or a small knife in general, but when I saw this one and I saw the price and it looked like it had never been used, I said, yeah, I guess I better add that to the collection. It was kind of a no-brainer. The price I got on this one was so good I couldn't leave it sitting there. But yeah, little peanut, kind of small in my hands, kind of fumbly. I would probably not even carry this one to church. It's just too small for me. Nice action on the little knife though. So yeah, just a really nice one for the stag collection here. All right, coming up next, we've got a mini trapper here. Now this one's kind of odd. It looks pretty decent on this side, and then if you flip it over, you know, it's kind of bland. Really not a whole lot going on, and look how off center it is. I mean, as far as how thick it is on one side and not the other, but I guess it's not too bad. But yeah, it's put together nice. I'm not a huge fan of mini trappers either, but again, I got a good price on this one. This was an eBay purchase, and the seller had this thing listed as a bone stag, and I saw the pattern number was a 5, and you know, you can kind of tell real stag from bone stag anyway. And you know, I had a guy comment one time, basically he was basically kind of telling me that I shouldn't be so proud of getting a good deal from somebody who didn't know what they had or mislabeled or whatever. But you know, I can see that, but it's not my place to contact that seller and tell them that their knife is worth more and that they should ask more for it. I mean, it's their place to do their research and get the price that they want out of it. But anyway, yeah, I think if you get a good deal on something, it's no different than when you're out, say, shopping for shoes and you find the pair of shoes you want on sale. You don't run to the cashier and say, hey, these are still $20 more down at the other place. You don't do that. You just get the deal when it comes along, and there's that. Y'all can let me know what you think about that in the comments. So here's a 18 pattern Stockman. Got this one at a flea market as well. I paid up for this, and I don't really know why. The backside, the pile side stag's pretty nice. The reason I say I don't know why I paid so much for this is because I'm not a fan of an 18. I don't really like, the size is okay, but I don't like how deep it is to get that thin, almost anemic looking clip point out. Now, you know, some people have that old red bone 18 pattern that has a more significant clip blade, and those look pretty good, but I don't have one of those yet. And as far as 18s go, this one I can actually get my thumb in there and open up pretty well. A few I've had in the past, I had a really hard time. I don't know if the nail nick wasn't as deep, But a few I've had in the past, I had a hard time getting in there and getting that clip point blade out. So there's an 18. Here's a Congress, a medium Congress that I got from the same place. Two different trips, obviously, but I got these from the same booth. Really well put together on this Congress. You know, you got 4 blades in there and I guess 4 back springs. Each knife rides on its own spring, which is kind of cool. The Stag on this one's really nice. I kind of paid up for this one too, but this one was actually, I feel like was well worth it, because I do in fact like this pattern. You've actually got the easy open notch on this side and this side to get to those smaller blades. This knife is pretty cool. It's you've got coping blades, you've got sheep's foot blades, half stops on these. The action's pretty decent. Over here you've got about the same thing. You've got a more of a pin blade almost, I guess you'd call that. And then on this side you've got an actual pin. So, you know, they're very similar. Basically a Congress is kind of a whittling knife, I believe. That's the way I've always looked at it, kind of a whittling knife, and you've got all those different blades there to get your whittling task accomplished. Here's a standout in the collection. This is a excuse me, I can't talk. I was trying to run 2 words together. This is a Case Rancher sowbelly. Really nice stag on this one. Both sides have really nice stag. The popcorn and the texture on this show side is just really something else. It's see if I can show y'all how deep that is. This is kind of one that I wouldn't want to carry. If you'll notice right there above that pin, one of these little popcorn pieces had actually gotten knocked off before I even came into contact with this knife. I noticed it, and so it probably got dropped and it probably got hit on one of these little knobs. So this is one I don't carry. This is one of the only knives I would consider a safe queen. This does have carbon steel, but I've never used it for anything, so it really doesn't have any patina. It may have gotten used before it came into my possession, because it should have a Rancher kind of a blade etch, not really an etch, but you know how they kind of stamp. Anyway, it was one of those deals where you could polish it off, and somebody has polished it off. But yeah, this is a pretty much a safe queen. And then a dear friend of mine who I've mentioned 100 times, Kent Smith, he sent me this one as a gift and told me to carry it, use it. And this one has some awesome stag on it as well. And I have used this one some. You may not be able to tell, but I've cut a few things, and it's got a little bit of patina on that clip point blade. But yeah, I love to have a knife like this in my pocket. It's just, I mean, it's just class above almost anything else. And to have that gorgeous stag coupled, paired with the chrome vanadium steel is just something else. So this has become an instant favorite. This is one that I might not have normally carried and used, but since I was given this as a gift and told to carry it, that's exactly what I've been doing. So really cool right there. Here's another gift from Ryan at RH Blade and Shade. He had this awesome 47 Trapper, 47 Stockman, and this thing's got some age to it. I believe this is a 64 to 69 or whatever that span of years is. I'm not 100% sure, but awesome stag. And what's so impressive about this knife is the absolute awesome action on these blades. This thing is an absolute bear trap. It will snap shut. I believe if you got your finger caught in there, it'd probably just slice it right off. But this is the kind of knife I'm really into right now. Just something that's got the good steel and got awesome covers, whether it's Stag or Old Bone, and the action and the craftsmanship of these older vintage knives. Here's one that's a little different. This is a second cut Stag. This is Stag that was a little fat, and it got sanded down and polished, and then it got some jigging cut back into it. This is a custom job by Ken again. He sent me this as a Christmas gift, and boy, you talk about some good action. He modified the blade to make it more of a like a sheep's foot blade, which is kind of cool. And this thing just has some ridiculous snap. When you close this thing, it closes hard. But yeah, just a modified razor that has been recovered in jigged Stag. So that was really cool gift, something personal. All right, these next two are gonna be the non-case knives. This one here is a hen and rooster. You can see by that shield right there. German-made knife, Solingen, Germany. Really nice Stag on this. I found this one in an antique mall as well. And it's a shame, the guy that I bought this knife from, he doesn't come and set up there anymore. I just went in there one day and all his stuff was gone, and it was replaced with trading cards and whatnot. But this one's got carbon steel also. And you can probably see I've used this one quite a bit. I carried this one for a long time, slicing my apples and fruit and steak and whatever. Got little swedges on the blade there, pretty nice touch. One of the things I like about this knife is actually how kind of rough it is. See how the pins aren't real flush? It's just, it almost appears like it was thrown together kind of half-assed, but in another way, it's almost perfect. I don't know. I just like the little bit unfinishedness of it. But this backside Stag is gorgeous. Look at these grooves. Just absolutely gorgeous. The grooves in the front are just as deep. Look at this. Man, I love this thing. Absolutely love it. It's a little bit bigger than the sowbelly in length, but it's comparable. But yeah, just a phenomenal knife right here. A lot of these hen and roosters are in stainless steel, so I'm really glad that I found this one in carbon. All right, next is a kind of a special one that I found after my mother-in-law and father-in-law had both passed. We were going through some things in the house and ran across this knife, and my wife hollered at me from the other room and she said, "I found you a knife." And so this one belonged to my father-in-law. This is a Bulldog brand. If you've never heard of Bulldog brand, I think it's another Germany made knife. You see handmade, and the little tang stamp is two bulldogs fighting. This one had a blade etch that says "Our Best." If you can see that right there. S&D cutlery, I think. I'm not sure how S&D and Bulldog brand go together. I've never researched this knife a whole lot. This knife has a pretty wicked action too. They use some really good materials in this knife. I don't know, it doesn't really take on a patina like a carbon blade does, but at the same time it's got some tarnish and some pitting. So I'm not sure what they use for this. It's a I don't think it says English steel, but it doesn't say whether it's stainless. It doesn't have Ross Fry on it anywhere. Back here is where it says S&D Cutlery Company, Solingen, Germany, hand forged, I think it says. So anyway, another cool blade. And again, look at this grooves in this Stag, very nice. These pins are actually a little proud as well, but I love it. I just like how it's put together. It really looks handmade instead of, you know, machine finished or whatever. So that's one that doesn't get out much because I would hate anything to happen to my father-in-law's knife. So here's one that's kind of a Grail piece. If y'all know me, you know that I'm a huge copperlock fan. And so I finally acquired this gorgeous Stag copperlock, full-size copperlock. I'm not much of a fan of the minis, but this one here has got some really good looking Stag covers on it. Really nice. Just a gorgeous blade on these copperlocks. That's kind of the reason that I like them so much. I just think the overall profile and the overall shape of these things is just about perfect. Everyone knows you kind of use that copperhead style bolster to get your good close-up grip. I guess if you needed to, you could come up here a little bit, but I kind of like to keep my finger here. Just a gorgeous, well-designed clip point. And then on this one, like I said, gorgeous Stag. So this is pretty much a Grail piece for me. That one doesn't come out all that often, but I will carry it on special occasions. Here's one that's kind of neat. This was another gift from a dear friend, Kent Smith. This one had a corner knocked off of it, but he's put it back in there and re-glued it and stabilized it. It's in there for good. This backside Stag is really nice. The front side there, a little bit less texturing, but still it looks good. This is the, I'm gonna have to look at it because I don't really remember. This is the 5111 stainless steel. This is a 80, what's that say? Okay, so this is a 100-year anniversary tang stamp, 1889 to 1989. And but guys, this thing is cool. This is basically a cheetah knife without the swing guard, is what this is. It was never meant to have the swing guard because you can see there's no hole up here for that swing guard to pivot on. But this was just designed to not have it. And but you got a lovely swedge, a long pull, and just a nice size knife with half stops. Did y'all see that? So yeah, just a really nice knife right here. Something you don't see every day. I'm super thrilled to have this one. So the last one here, the biggest one, is this Case XX changer. And guys, there for a while, I decided to put this thing in my belt sheath. I had a belt sheath made for this because it's a large knife. It wouldn't fit in a normal pancake sheath. But I found a sheath that this thing fit into nicely, and I carry this thing for a long time. This is the XX changer, if I didn't mention that. So you have 4 blade options for this knife, but I really like the profile and the look of this drop point blade in here. Now this drop point blade is not different too much than the clip point and a spade blade in a trapper. I have a clip point blade for this knife as well, and when you lay these two down side by side, the cutting edge profile is identical. The only difference is the clip point has a relief right here. Other than that, the cutting edge is identical. There's no cutting task that you're going to be able to cut with this that you can't cut with the other one, and vice versa. The edge is identical. But I just like the way this looks. The drop point, I don't know, it just looks beefy and strong. The clip point, although it's a really good looking blade, it does get a little thin out there on the end. And as much as I like it, I just favor this drop point a little bit. I mostly like the way the drop point looks in the closed position. It's just a nice clean profile and a nice clean look. But yeah, the Stag on this is great. I got a killer deal on this as well. This was an eBay find, and I got this thing in a display tin with the sheath, all the blades, everything laid out, display style, for like 85 bucks. And it was my birthday one year. I was kind of hunting for something in the $100 range, and I run across this for 85, and it had like $15 shipping, so it was perfect. But yeah, just super proud to have this one as well. So I'm going to show y'all something here that I kind of been wanting to talk about. This is not knife related, and I didn't carve these with a knife. A little bit of it I did, but not mostly. But something I like to do is to kind of make propellers. My grandpa kind of got me into this. We used to get out and make windmills homemade windmills. They weren't anything fancy. They were just like a board that ran horizontal with we'd make a little tail fin, and then he would get out there and make me a propeller, and we would put that propeller on the front of our stick, and naturally as the wind blew it would spin the propeller. And I always thought that was kind of a neat little thing. There's nothing hard about this. You just get you a chunk of wood and you offset the angle at which you're cutting. You find you a center hole. You see it's all boogered up where I've just kind of been messing with it, but you get you a hole in there and you can put this on a windmill or something outside and let the wind blow it. This one here is bigger. I'm gonna have a hard time putting it in frame. This one's bigger and it actually turned out a little nicer. I actually thought about trying to find an old desk fan at a thrift store and seeing if I couldn't retrofit this wooden blade to a desk fan and then just have it sitting on my table and running. Obviously it's got a crazy pitch, so I don't know how well a normal desk fan motor would turn this because it's going to have a lot of drag. But anyway, yeah, this one turned out kind of nice. I was kind of proud of this one. Try to get it where you can see it. Yeah, I spent a lot of time sanding on it and just kind of getting it just right or whatever. But yeah, that's just a little something I enjoy messing with, kind of carving these wooden propellers or whatever. And I just thought since they were laying there, I'd show them to you. But yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. Like I said, I just want to show y'all my Stag knives, and I wanted to have y'all a video to watch if you were off on Memorial Day and you had, kind of all day to mess around and watch YouTube. So I hope y'all have a great day. Hope y'all have a great week, and we'll catch you on the next one.